Hello, everybody. Welcome back to One Leeds. Listen, stopped doing the opposition previews a while back. It just got a little bit tough, but I do have some mates in and around this space who I've done content with before and who I definitely enjoy having on, and especially with them getting towards with the season right now in terms of Burnley and Leeds hitting the stride a little bit. It makes it a little bit sweeter, or am I speaking, before an impending doom here? Who knows? But Liam or Visa is on the channel. How you doing, mate? All good?
Yeah, doing all good, mate. It's been probably as chaotic over here as it has been for you guys. So I feel like maybe in some cases this may be actually the worst time to play each other in the season, because it feels that way over here. So it's going to be a really, I don't know what the hell will happen this weekend, mate. I'll be honest with you. So it'll be definitely there'll be goals. I can guarantee goals in this game.
Yeah, it's a weird one, isn't it? It's like, I don't know. Obviously, you look at Burnley at the start of the season, you go, yeah, it's going to be a tough one naturally. And you saw the team, I feel like even just like 2 or 3 weeks before the window ended, and you are genuinely like, as obviously as a Leeds fan, but as just a neutral anyway, you thought, that's a good team that, built in the Premier League a little bit, but still in the vision of company, it felt like. And it's been a bit of an exodus, hasn't it, Liam, towards the back end of it. But still, I do look at that team and I think it's a good team. But it was bizarre what happened at the end of the transfer window, because it just felt like all eyes were on Burnley as they were just getting pinched off.
I mean, as someone that's, of course, a Burnley fan and I'm in a space and everything, I just got to a stage that I stopped looking. I stopped looking online. I could not be bothered. I've got more important things in life. I've got children. I cannot be bothered to care about what is going on anymore. Because the issue is...
Still hurts, Liam, doesn't it?
It still hurts, but the issue is most of it is just bollocks. Most of it isn't even real. It's like agent talk. Most of it ain't even real. It's just rumors by whoever else. So it's like online people get themselves wound up. And it's just got to a stage just like, I just see what the team is at the weekend. And then Sunderland came, and then I panicked. And really badly, because we had like an incredible team against Cardiff, and then we got like 4 or 5 academy boys on the bench. I'm like, what on earth is going on here? And then the next week we had Blackburn. Our team was a bit better, but new lads. It's clearly a lot has happened behind the scenes, and the cohesion absolutely is not there right now, as you'd expect. Like, we were playing Hannibal and Jadon Anthony and Lawrence, that literally was only there for not even a day. Like, Hannibal joined on the Wednesday, literally joined on the morning. He had half a training session and then started against Wolves in the Cup. Like, it's just whoever arrived, you just jump straight in. So that's why I'm a bit concerned about this weekend. It's a good timing in terms of a break, but yeah, it's just, I don't know what to expect right now. We've got a good team, but right now I'm concerned about how the next couple of weeks may go.
Yeah, I don't know. It's always tough predicting like games like this, because Burnley are always going to be a problem. I think, well, we were just speaking, weren't we, beforehand, and I think they're going to be a bigger problem when they get the what together. I think that happened with Company as well, didn't it, Liam? At the start, they were gelling a little bit, and then they got together, and there's so many unknowns in that team. You're like, who's that? And then the likes of obviously Benson and Co came to the party really and started tearing up the division. But what I want to get your thoughts on the set you just mentioned there. Hannibal, Jadon Anthony, who we had last season, didn't get enough minutes for us, unfortunately. I liked Anthony, but also Scott Parker as well, mate. What's your overall sort of synopsis on the transfers in and the manager at this moment in time? Because it feels it's definitely a huge difference to what the likes of Vincent Kompany brought, isn't it?
I mean, when first the news came out with Scott Parker, I mean, I feel like for the championship, with the squad that we have, we're going to have definitely probably a better squad compared to the majority of the division. I feel like he'll still be a decent appointment for the championship. My main concern leads to what happens if we do get promoted. That's a big if still, but you're not guaranteed anything. But if we do, I still have serious caution towards him and how we can adapt the team to Premier League. So in terms of championship, he's got 2 seasons, 2 promotions on paper. It seems all nice and well. I got a bit sick and tired of Bournemouth fans and every single comment on social media just telling me how bad it is. Like, okay, I get it, but let me at least enjoy that honeymoon period first. Let me at least pretend and be, just be deluded. But he said all the right things. He's a talker. You could tell with him. He's a talker. He says all the right things. And he seems like he's built a decent relationship with the players. And he's made an effort with the fans as well. And that's all you could really ask for. And in terms of how he started the year, Luton, fantastic. Cardiff 5-0, fantastic. Even though we haven't really played that well in that game, we still somehow won 5-0. And then Sunderland, completely different team. So I can't really put that against him. Like the last 2 games, I can't, his entire squad has been completely just thrown away. 1 player left and 2 players left. And apparently the agents, they get a bit excited. And there's, as we know, it's Groundhog Day. Every single player is then available to go move, and there's rumors that's not true, and it's an absolute car crash. So I can't really hold anything against him. I think he's been actually done dirty a bit by the club. So I think that he's got time. Burnley fans, even last year, a good chunk, even under Vincent Kompany and how bad we were last year, reminded the worst points tally in our entire history. Not just top flight, any league ever. We still, for the most part, stuck with him because that's just kind of the fan base we are. We had Sean Dash for 10 years and we had, we're not really a player, we're not really a culture of a fan base that just flips out. Online, maybe, there's always reactionary, but for the most part, we always stick with them. So he'll get his time, and I think that he'll do fine for this campaign personally.
Yeah, but yeah, I agree with you. Even like back to Owen Coyle as well. It feels like Burnley have always been pretty steadfast when it comes to sticking by a manager, which is credit to the fan base. What happened with was I think in the Premier League with companies Burnley. There's always, it's like Bielsa's Leeds. It's something, it's always someone's club. But it felt like he just didn't adapt. Liam, is that fair? Did he have the players available to him to adapt?
I mean, that's just every single part of it. They just came across as a bit naive. I think it came across more in terms of how you look at football from a spreadsheet, in terms of, well, this player we can maybe buy, develop for a little bit, and maybe sell for 2-3 times for profit and that. And if they're ready here and now, that's just more of a let's just see. We had a very young squad with not really that much Premier League experience within it, and it showed on the pitch. And the main issue was that we just were very insistent of playing a very similar style of football as we did in Championship. If anything, we were actually more advanced of the way we would play and more risky of how we pass out from the back than what we did in the Championship. We took more risk, which is, with an inexperienced squad, young squad, you're going to get caught out. And we did time and time again. And we sometimes did that in the Championship and got caught out, but the quality is nowhere near the same. And if you get caught out in Premier League, you're going to concede. It felt like 70% of the time, but in Championship, maybe only 17. Like, it's just a different level. So yeah, it came across a bit naive. We still try to play really attractive football, wing play, everything else, but you just break down the back line. The Championship is not even close to breaking down the back line in Premier League. And we just didn't have the quality to make it pay, unfortunately. And we paid the price, but I think people saw that coming from a mile away, personally.
Feels like, Liam, doesn't it? You can't do that anymore. Like, we sort of lived in the dream a little bit of Bielsa when we went up and finished 9th or whatever, and we just played all-out attack, essentially. Sheffield United the season before, I think they played like a 3-5-2 and played the wild away, three. Yeah. Even the overlapping centre-backs was completely novel. It feels like year by year, and obviously you've been in the Premier League more recently than we have, that division just goes up and up and up, and the separation between the Prem and the Championship just gets wider and wider and wider. And you even look at Ipswich right now and you think, look, they played such a brilliant brand of football last season, but if you don't adapt to that level and you don't almost change your philosophy, I guess, and a bit of your ethos, you're just going to get mullered most weeks, aren't you? It's the gap is just increasing to a ridiculous level.
I mean, that's why I have no faith in Southampton staying up with shit, because they're just going to be a complete mess. If they keep trying to pass on the back, because that's how Russell Martin plays, they're just going to stand no chance. That's why I probably say I think Leicester probably has the best chance of staying up between the bottom 3, because at least Cooper, he's did it before, and he will adapt and he will make them a bit more tough to beat. And Ipswich, they're a very big unknown right now. We're going to take it, they'll take them a bit of time, but I still don't think it'd be enough. It'll get to a stage where the teams that still stay up, like the Brentfords or the Bournemouths, whoever else, where they just keep on making that money each year. They get stronger each year. They sold Solanke and then brought in, the main number 9 from Porto, wasn't it? It's
Van Ilsen or something, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like the same teams will probably start going up each time. Maybe Leeds or Burnley or West Brom or whoever else. But it's just going to get tougher and tougher each year, which is a big problem. And like, yes, you do get an Ipswich, and yes, you do get a Luton, and it is possible. I think that's just going to get less and less and less each year we go, because they're going to keep making more and more money, and the teams that aren't parachute clubs, they're just going to keep falling behind the curve, and it's going to be an even bigger miracle to get up to that level.
Yeah, I completely agree, mate. Feels
and
like
we're both kind of fortunate because we're both like we've passed a test, like we're kind of in the club a little bit, we're in the door, but we've still got a long way to go still.
It's similar. It's interesting what you say with Scott Parker as well, because I think I'm kind of on the same vein with Daniel Farke. It's very much, championship pedigree, 100%, but it is a little bit like that Premier League. Obviously we sound quite arrogant here, don't we? We're talking about Scott Parker potentially in the Premier League and Daniel Farke in the Premier League, but if that is, the long-term projection, or hopefully the short-term projection for both clubs, it feels like both of those managers might struggle a little bit. And Daniel Farke, it's going to be interesting, Liam, because if we do get back there, I wonder if the 49ers might just look at it and think, right, well, we're going to look, thank you, but let's move on. And that would be a very, very harsh verdict if that was to happen. But it does feel like football's getting more and more ruthless nowadays, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think that may have to be the case. Like for me, the only Premier League manager in the Championship is Coburn. Carlos Coburn.
Yeah,
I think that's the only manager I think can make that adaptation. That's why when company left, that was my main number one that I really wanted to be Carlos Coburn, because I think that he can do wonders in Championship and also can adapt to Premier League. He's got that intelligence to him. But Scott Parker, I think he's still a decent appointment. It's just, for the long term, I'm a bit concerned, but let's get to that long term first and see where we go from there. So in terms of the campaign, I'm really just looking at you, really. Like, I don't really, I'm looking at the quality of this league, mate, and it's not good. Like, Sunderland have a great start, of course, but like, they're such a young team. They're going to fade away at some stage, have one injury, and like, they've not got the depth for that. They've not. So they've got a good team, young players, and they can develop for the next year or two and then go, but they're nowhere near ready now. So who do you think is really in that top two fight other than Burnley and Leeds? Genuinely.
Yeah, man.
It sounds big, of course, but like, you just got to be realistic here.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think your Corbrand shout's spot on. I think they're always going to be a problem. They're such a bang average side, but with him, I mean, the guy got Huddersfield to a playoff final, for goodness sake, with like a budget of 200,000 quid. Yeah. He's a top manager in my opinion. I can't believe a Prem club hasn't come calling from. I think the only outlier would be a Sheffield United, but I just look at them and I wonder about that bench. They've taken a bit of a risk on Tyrese Campbell as well, Kiefer Moore for a full season. As your number 9, I wonder about that. But you've already got Hamface trying to stoke up the rivalry between Leeds and them, which I think gives them that sort of vigor that they need to get into a season. So I think they're going to be there or thereabouts, but I think Burnley will come into it. And that's not to say that Burnley are out of even the conversation, by the way, because Burnley are firmly in it right now, especially after those first 2 results, which we're all looking at and going, oh, wow, they've just won 4-1 at Luton, flipping heck. But yeah, I think it is between us both. I think you've still got I don't know if you've got as many superstars as you had last time out when it was Vincent Kompany, but to be honest, Liam, none of us knew that they were superstars until the end of the season. Who's to say, Hannibal couldn't do something like that? Jaden Anthony couldn't take the mantle. Lyle Foster does what Lyle Foster does. I think it was key that you kept hold of him. Do you think that was a big sort of like almost coup for you to keep hold of him and Brownhill, I guess?
And Koleosho as well. That he's just had a 5-year deal yesterday as well, which for me comes across as a sort of, that really means that if we don't go up this year, then you can go easily, kind of thing.
Well, was it Wolves who were following him till the last day, Liam? Was it him?
Yeah. So basically, it got to a case where so many players were leaving that we knew that if Koleosho also went, then there'd be a complete meltdown outside Turf Moor. So we said that, look, 40 million quid, or he's not going, and he's not really worth 40 million quid. But we're just like, he cannot go. So Wolves said, all right, sure thing, and they just went. I think Koleosho. He didn't play against Wolves in the Cup that week, coincidentally. And I think that was a case of, protecting himself, I believe. But Foster was still there. But he's still here. He'd be a great player for the season. In terms of the squad, I mean, we got so many centre-backs injured right now, which is a bit of an odd one. We just got John Egan yesterday, which he's...
Yeah.
a long-term injury. He's nowhere near ready right now, mate. Like from what I know, he's not ready anywhere near. Like he's got a really bad injury. He's back on the grass, but he's so off the pace. So like he's just there because we got Bayer out and we've got like O'Shea went. So it's just yeah, it's going to be a weird one to try to find the right cohesion with the squad because right now it's anyone who knows who will start. If Anthony will be a starter or not, we'll have to find out because we got Sarmiento. Will he be a starter? We don't know.
Yeah, it is weird. It is weird, isn't it? Your other centre back, I think, did he hobble off against Blackburn as well? Was it Steve? Is that how you pronounce it?
Esteve, yeah.
Esteve,
I think he should be okay. But like
yeah.
Jordan Bayer was like amazing for us, but he's just turned to glass and he's still not back yet. He's not played in like 7 months and no one really knows why. So it's just a weird one. The fact that Trafford is still here, by the way, astounds me, by the way. Like I thought he'd be first one to go. So yeah, it's a weird one. But I'm just glad it's over the window. I'll be honest with you. Glad.
Conor Roberts as well. Interesting. Obviously, he came to us on loan, warmed that bench up for a good 3 months, which I wasn't a massive fan of. But Archie Gray,
that odd. Yeah, I did find that odd.
Archie Gray, obviously at right back, but I would have loved to have seen Archie just go central midfield, and I think he'd have had more of an impact in there. But Roberts, yeah, I guess a good championship player. I think he picked up a little bit of a niggle, didn't he? But I mean, Burnley just going through the walls at the minute. So I think this is it, isn't it, Liam? It does feel right now. I mean, we've got a fully fit squad. So right now, it does feel Leeds are going into this white hot favourites. I should say, really. I mean, that's how the general consensus is. I'm never that confident when it comes to us being the favourites, but yeah, that's how it feels, doesn't it, mate?
Any other time this campaign, I'd have a lot more belief, but because everything is also new, players have only been here for a week or so. We don't really know our best squad. We've just kind of come through a very just what's the word for it? Emotional. I feel say emotional transfer window. So much going on. It's just been stressful for everyone involved, even the players. Like it's our first game back, and we're going to, let's be honest, probably the toughest fixture of the entire campaign. So it's like this is the worst time to play you guys right now. In 2 months, I would be all for it, mate. I think we could get a win. Happy days. But I don't know what to expect here, mate. We could absolutely tear you guys apart, or we get smashed 3-0. I'll be more going towards being smashed 3-0 right now because we need players together that has to know who each other, and like it's all new. Like Laurent, he's brand new. Anthony's brand new. Hannaboy's brand new. Sarmiento is brand new. It's just chaotic here, mate. So they're going to find out how to play on the pitch while playing you guys, who you guys are a good team in this league. No matter what you guys think about your own club. In the championship, you're red hot, mate. So, yeah, it's a tough one to face right now.
What did because obviously you make your general football content, Liam. What did you make of Leeds United's window? Obviously, Archie Gray leaving, Somerville leaving, and Jorginho Rutter leaving. It feels like now Leeds have dotted around a little bit better. We've got like from Dusseldorf in called Altanaka, Joe Rothwell. We've got Solomon in on one side, like Ramazani in on the other side. It feels like we're a little bit more balanced, but they're massive players to lose, aren't they, at championship level with the X factor that they possess?
Oh yeah, I'm buzzing out Somerville and Rutter is gone. I'm absolutely buzzing, especially Rutter, because I feel like Rutter's so important for you guys and how you guys wanted to play. So I'm buzzing that they're gone because I feel like they got that insane quality. However, it may make you less predictable. So how you go forward, that you're not just relying on passing the ball to Somerville on the left-hand side and hoping he takes on 3 players and then, it sets up a great assist. Like there's a lot more balance for you guys. I think the quality has lessened a bit in that regard, but you guys will know much more than me. I think Falk is a great manager, and in terms of the championship anyway, he will still do really well. And the championship is by far less quality this year than what it was last year, because it was quite unfortunate that last year it was a very good top of the table, and with that points tally, he would have been probably up anyway. So it was just really unfortunate, which is by far a very Leeds thing to do. So I look at your squad. I think that. Yes, I was expecting you to spend more money. I thought you get a bit more going on because of the income that you brought in, but I think it's more of a case of if you don't go up this year, which would be probably a disaster. Like if you don't, like it's more of a self-protection because of the lacking of parachute payments for the 3rd year. So it really is now or never for you guys really to have that extra advantage, because if you guys don't go up this year, it may be, I don't know what may happen with you guys. I think you'll know much more than me, but it won't be pretty, I don't think.
And especially if, let's say, hypothetically, if we were both still down there next season, which I don't see, you know, in terms of both clubs anyway. If you look at the strength of the division again, next season, if you maybe looking at Southampton, Leicester, and maybe even Ipswich or whatever, or one other or two others coming down, you know, you're looking at a really, really strong division again. I mean, last season, mate, ridiculous.
Yeah. Whoever comes down, I still don't. I think Southampton are still a weird club. I think
the manager's terrible, mate. I can't tell you how bad that guy is. Like, he's so average. He's so average.
And it's just the way they want to play. I just think that they're so exposed. Like, it's like how Company tried to play, but he just had probably better quality players. You know, it's a tough one. But you're a fair point with that in terms of who comes on next year. It's guaranteed to be a very big club. It could be Everton for Everton. It could be a Forest. It could be a Brentford. Maybe it's going to be some proper clubs. So we kind of have to make this season count. We really do. And it'd be nice because, you sent us down a couple of years back. So it'd be almost nice if we can almost go up together and hopefully, I don't care if I win a title. No, it's cool and all, but I just want to go up. So that means that we're not in absolute calamitous financial situation. Yeah,
man. It's interesting, just quickly to finish off on before we get with your score prediction. I've seen your videos before. Obviously, we've interacted before, and you've been really excited about what's happened. And it's interesting, when we've had Daniel Farke and we got so close last year, I've not been as excited like since Bielsa. Just the feeling, we've still been really good, but there's just the feeling that you get that you put with a manager. And I feel like you guys had that a lot with Vincent Kompany when you were going up and you were just absolutely battering everyone. And it feels like maybe you're a little bit, not disassociated as such, but disengaged with what's going on, or you just like sort of you're there for the ride and it's good and you want to get promoted, but you were maybe attached to Kompany like we were attached to Bielsa a little bit.
Yeah, because you have to, because you had 10 years under Sean Dyche, so like there was absolutely no guarantee, no right to go from 10 years under one manager in a very certain way of football, brand of football, to go to almost a complete polar opposite and to still be just as good, if not even better, in the Championship. There was no right for us to get all those players in, sell the foundational core of Burnley, Tarkowski, Ben Mee, Nick Pope, Chris Wood, Dwight McNeil, all those players, and to expect us to sign players from Belgium and some loan players from Premier League Southampton and like do just go and romp the league 101 points. So it's like there was no right for us to do that. So of course it was all exciting. We played good football, go to the Premier League under this big name, he could attract more attractive players. It was a very exciting time for the club. As I'm sure it was with you boys with Bielsa, more so I say with Bielsa with you guys, to be fair, because he's just got like a certain draw to him, which I think is uncommon. He's also a much better manager than Vincent Kompany as well. So, it was fun. It was fun, but this is kind of like the new era of Burnley now. So, of course, we're going to see what happens this season and see where we are.
Go on then, mate. You said it to me on text. You're not that confident, but I know you're going to back your boys maybe a little bit more. What's your score prediction?
I think there'd be goals in this game because I don't think defensively we're there right now. I don't know about you boys, but I think you guys aren't necessarily the best at the back either. Yeah. What was it? 3-3 against Pompey, first game of the season. So, I'll probably say there'd be goals. I'll take a draw right now with you in a heartbeat. I think a draw would be a fantastic result. So I'm going to go with that. I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw. Yeah,
man, I'm going to go for
I did say 3-0, by the way, off the thing, but now I'm here. I can't do it. I can't do it. So I'll say 2-2. I think there'll be goals in this game, personally.
Yeah, man. Realistically, I think 1-1. I think you'll surprise a little bit. I mean, it's not a surprise, but you're relegated side, so you're going to be tough. You're going to be really, really tough. But I think Leeds will just get it, just over the line. We'll nick a point, I think. But yeah, I think I wouldn't. Would I be disappointed with that? I probably would with where you're at now, Liam. But
would you take a draw?
Yeah, but I'd be a little bit underwhelmed. If we were to go to Turf Moor, I'd 100% take a point. 100%. If this was at your place, I'd take a point. But Ellen Road, like you say, I still believe personally that Ellen Road's the toughest place for any away team to come. So I do. Yeah, I'd 100%. I'd 100% want to win that one. But I mean, Sheffield United are coming in a couple of weeks, mate, and I'd expect to win that one as well. So, but maybe it sounds a bit arrogant, but you take a point away from home, don't you, against the top team? So,
yeah.
Right. we're going to leave it there. We're going to let this gentleman get on with his with his working day. We're not going to take up too much more of his time. This will be out on Thursday. So guys, make sure you check out Liam's channel. You all will have done anyway, but if you're not aware, because he is a Burnley fan, he's a general football content creator, but one of the best out there. His link will be in the description and his name will be in the title as well. Just click on that name and it'll take you through to his channel. Liam, thank you so much for joining me, buddy.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. And I think it'll be eventually probably just us two in the top 2 this season. I think it will be. Sheffield United's probably a good shout, but I think either way, I think it'll be us 2 up there. And I hope that you boys don't hate me in April or May when you guys are watching every single Burnley game, hoping never get battered.
And you make a video of us when we're languishing in 7th. What's happened to Leeds United?
Oh yeah, I'm waiting for that day. I'll give it until after Christmas, and we'll see where you boys are at.
Absolute pleasure, mate, and cheers for joining us.